Hey, they say they want that raw, but we about to give them all this real shit. Yo, turn your notifications on and subscribe to the channel talking that real shit. It don't matter where you at or where you from, cause Real Raw Radio gon' get it done. And it don't matter where you at or where you from, cause Real Raw Radio gon' get it done. And tell a friend, go tell a friend, go tell a friend, go tell a friend. Miss J Perez, she back at it again. Hey, tell a friend, go tell a friend, go tell a friend, go tell a friend. Miss J Perez, she back at it again.
So today on Real Raw Radio Podcast, this conversation is going to be a little bit more intimate. She's not an artist. She is a domestic violence survivor. Her name is Unique. She's from Queens. Introduce yourself.
So, hey, everybody. My name is Unique. I'm actually from Brooklyn,
I
currently live in Queens.
Sorry, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
My other favorite borough.
So, how are you?
I'm good. I just came from work, which I know you did too.
Absolutely.
What do you do?
So, I'm a nurse. I'm at a cancer treatment center.
Mm-hmm.
And the building been open for like 2 years now. And pretty much that's it.
Okay. Well, I know that you have a deep story.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in the newspapers.
Yes.
And when you reached out to me and I seen the articles and stuff, it really touched me because you did hit me around October, which was Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yes.
And even though we're in January, we're in a whole new year. Mm-hmm. And I feel like your story is so important to share because there's so many other women and men going through stuff, you know, children that are dealing with a lot of domestic issues.
Yes.
You know, people are scared. People, I think, shut down. You know, mental health is, and you know, like depression, anxiety is at an ultimate high right now.
Absolutely.
For a lot of people,
yeah.
a lot. I haven't been in a physical abusive relationship, but I am a child who grew up in a physical abusive home. Also verbal and a lot of mental abuse. So let's touch down on your past relationship that pushed you to the point that it pushed you to, because I'm going to allow you to say that.
Okay.
You know, so that way the viewers can really hear your story to what led you. Unless you want me to say it, I could say it.
I mean, you could say it and then I can get into details.
So Unique reached out to me and she told me that she was a victim of domestic violence. She was incarcerated because she did kill the person who beat her. And to me, that's really big because, you know, when you kill someone and they lock you up and the whole story behind it, because a lot of women get beat to where they're really fighting for their lives. Yes. And it's not fair a lot of the time, you know, especially like back in the day where it was more normal for a woman to get beat and people just like kind of turn their head.
Hide it, yeah.
Court order protections don't work at all. Let's be clear on that. It does not matter about a court order protection. But you were fighting for your life. So just let everybody know like how that was, how it led to you doing what you did and the experience after.
Okay, so pretty much it all started. I'm going to leave his name, you know, anonymous.
Oh, yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
And I was dating him for about 3 years. So in the beginning, it started off, you know, of course, everything was good. We were going out. He showed no signs of a person with like anger problems or any type of abuse. So the first situation started maybe a year after we're dating. Pretty much he had lost his job. And I noticed like at that time I was in school and I was working. Mm-hmm. So I noticed around that time when I had graduated from college, you know, I was trying to pursue my nursing. And being that he lost his job, he was always upset with me. So I would come home, like say I'm trying to do homework or, you know, I'm tired or whatever the case may be. He would pick fights with me. So that was the first sign. But of course, when you love someone, you're trying to bypass it. So after that situation, I noticed he started yelling a lot. Then from there, it was one time he asked me to do something and I didn't do it. And that's when he first slapped me. Mm. So from there, I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand why it happened, and I was in denial. So from there, I didn't tell anyone, but I was hurt behind it.
How did you feel when you got slapped?
I was in shock because I never honestly, even growing up in a household, my mom, she really didn't go through no abuse. I didn't see my grandparents or anyone going through that, so I didn't know how to handle that situation. So after about 2 weeks or so, I called one of my friends and I kind of explained to her what happened. And she was like, oh, you should tell somebody, or you should, probably get out that situation because it's only going to get worse. But I didn't want to listen. Mm-hmm. So, it started from a slap. And then maybe a month or so after that, that's when I really got my first beat down from him. Mm. So what led to that, I didn't know after he lost his job, he started doing drugs. I honestly think he was doing it before and I didn't catch what was going on, but I had found a little baggie and I questioned him about it. Mm-hmm. And that absolutely pissed him off. And then that led into a brutal beating. So from there, I had to go to the hospital and, I tried to hide it from my mom, but being that my arm was in the sling and stuff, she caught. Yeah, she caught what happened. So
he beat you to the point where you ended up in the hospital.
Yeah, I was in the hospital. So from there, I told my mom what happened, and I ended up calling the police. So from there, he showed up to my mother's house the following day looking for me, and he made the threat if I can't have you, nobody can. And if you don't come back home, then I'm gonna hurt your family. So once he said that, obviously, I was scared. I didn't want no one to suffer from what I was going through. So what I did, I went back.
Your mother knew about it at that time?
She knew about it. But, she was she was there to help me, but I was the one more so in denial because I didn't want her to get hurt in the process. Mm-hmm. So, I just kind of went back and dealt with it. So from there, of course, obviously he was mad. So as soon as I got back, we had a fight. And it just was persistent. It was almost every week I had to cover up black eyes. I'm trying to go to school and study and do certain things, but it became it was tormenting to me,
Living in a house with that person, when you wake up, do you are you careful of what you say, how you act? Were you because some people walk on eggshells when dealing with somebody like that?
Yeah. So I was. So it's been times I would be scared to speak to him because I didn't know would he yell according to my tone, or if he was high. I didn't know the situation. So a lot of the times I would be quiet. Mm-hmm. And then when we did speak, he would speak, but I'll be nervous because I didn't know if he'll try to swing at me, or I was very nervous.
You ever hit him back?
It's been times we actually, I'm not gonna lie, we actually fought. Of course, you want to try to get the person off you, but he's a man. So, yeah. Of course, I would never win.
Yeah, that shit is hard. Yeah. And then I know drugs, especially, coke.
Yeah, that was the
one. That's a drug that makes people change.
Yes.
And my father used to do that. And he would come home and beat my mother up crazy, while we were sleeping. And looking at him, my father's one of the most pleasant, funny people that you could ever meet. Mm-hmm. But when he's drunk or high, it was just a demon, a real demon. It was not the same person. But it took my mother 10 years to leave my dad because back then in the 80s, it's everybody did drugs.
Right.
Not my mother, but, everybody that was in the street was doing drugs. Mm-hmm. And she opened someone's mail by accident, and it was a court order of protection. And when she looked, she was like, oh, shit, I'm going to go get one, for, against my father. Right. And then she did that and moved us, me and my sister. But I was a daddy's girl, so I didn't really understand why she left. But I seen my mother get beat. They had me when they were 16 years old. My mother was 16.
So they were young.
So I kind of grew up with them.
Right.
And in the Puerto Rican household, my mother could not leave my father. My grandmother was not trying to hear it. She's like, you cannot leave him. You know, because, you know, women got beat. They got cheated on, beat, whatever. And they had to kind of like deal with it. Right. But growing up, you know, because I did lose my sister.
Sorry
because it's okay. Like, my mother was 9 months pregnant. He flipped her over a sofa bed. Next thing I know, my mother's in the hospital. She lost a baby, but I blacked out. I don't remember that time frame. Wow. And I'm grown, and I still don't remember that time frame. Mm-hmm. I just remember me being in the Bronx at my grandfather's house, like, when am I going home? When am I going home? And then when I went home, it was back to my mother getting beat again. And then she got pregnant with my other sister, and it was like the same thing. And then after my other sister was born, within like a year or two to 3 years, that's when my mother finally left him. But I went through bloody eyes and busted lips, and
that's a lot.
Yeah. It's just a lot of stuff. It's just a lot. So for you to like go through something like that, like being the actual victim, like that, like I never wanted nobody to ever put their hands on me.
Right.
And I actually had one physical altercation with my son's father when my son was about to turn 8. That was the first and last time I ever, you know, had a situation like that. But being a woman, you know, or being, you know, a man too, because men get abused also.
Absolutely.
It's really not easy because you don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Because you are fighting for your life. Yeah. Now, through the times that it escalated and stuff like that for you, when did it get to that point where it was like a breaking point? Because how many years did you deal with this?
So it was about 3-4 years. So when I came to the breaking point, it was another hospital visit. I had a hairline fracture in my arm, and both my eyes were black, and I had to get stitches in my mouth, and I had to get stitches in my hand. So that particular day when I went back and I looked at myself, I was like, I can't do this no more. Because I have 4 children, but at that time, it was only 3 of them, but he wouldn't do it in front of them.
Were they his children?
No.
Okay, so you don't have no kids with him?
No, thank God. I don't have any children with him. So, yeah, again, once I seen myself, I was like, you know, I can't do this anymore. You know, I'm tired of hiding it. I was embarrassed, but at the same time, I'm like, I got to get out this situation. And, you know, with the strength of my mom, you know, she was always telling me, look, like, I'm always here to help you. You know, you got to get out that situation, you know. So what I did, I had packed one bag, and I took my kids and I went to the precinct. So I told them, I'm like, look, I can't do this anymore. Like, you know, I got an order of protection, and I went to the shelter, but somehow he found me there. Mm-hmm. So from there, they switched me, moved me to another shelter, and from there, I stayed there for about like 3 months, thinking everything is fine. I had moved, and the first day that I moved into my current apartment, I don't know if he had like people watching me, or because he do have people like that work in the court system and, you know, things of that nature in his family. And the first day that I moved into my apartment, you know, I tried to have a housewarming, and he popped up.
How was that for you?
So when I seen him, I was like in shock, because I'm like, wow, like he really stalking me, you know? But I tried to maintain my composure, because obviously, like, I don't want my family to get hurt. So from there, like, my mom knew what was going on, but we tried to hide it from everyone else. So after, how can I break it down? Pretty much I asked everyone to leave. We couldn't proceed with it because I already knew what it was. And I just told my mom, like, look, take the kids. Because, you know, I have to deal with this in a way, you know, like, you know, I'm going to call the cops and do what I have to do. I never even got a chance to do that. So, like, once everybody left, he came in the house and we started fighting. So, from fighting, somehow, like, he pulled a knife out on me. And if you could see, like, I have a cut on my face.
I did want to ask you where that scar came from.
Yeah, I have a scar on my face. I have a few scars on my body. And like how you said you blacked out, I don't, to this day, I still really don't know, like, by detail what happened. I just know I was fighting for my life. And when I came to, it was just blood everywhere. Like, on me, all over. And then that's when I realized, like, he wasn't moving, so I had to call the cops.
Wow.
And when I called the cops, and that's when when I heard what they say, like DOA, when I heard that, that's when I knew it was serious. So from there, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
So from there, yeah, they had, they took me in, and they pretty much like held me for like 48 hours to try to like figure out, you know, what to do with me. And I end up having to do 9.5 months. So from the 9.5, I had to do 9.5 months. From there, they let me go on, like, once they see I had like order protections, I had pretty much went to the shelter. They had to keep moving me because he kept finding me somehow. They let me go on justifiable homicide. And then, you know, as far as for next week, it'll be like 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
When you see him come up to the house, like, how did you feel? Like, did your stomach drop?
I was shocked. Like, I didn't, because first, you know how you would be like, oh, if I see this person, I'm going to do this. I couldn't even react. I'm standing there and I'm like again? Like, you know, because I'm feeling like, okay, I had to move from shelter to shelter. And now I finally got somewhere where I felt like, okay, I can start over. And then I was all the way in Far Rockaway. So I'm like, how the hell did you find me out there? You know, so when I seen him, I was just shocked. Like, pretty much like, here we go again. And then again, you know, not saying I don't care about myself. I was just worried about my family because I know the type of person he was. Mm-hmm. He was the type, like, you know, he always would carry weapons on him, especially like how you said that cocaine and him drinking. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like I was living with a monster. So, you know, I don't know. I was just shocked.
How was it for your kids to see you like bruised up and stuff like that? Because that got to be difficult.
It was. They were. I knew they knew what was going on, but like I said, they never was actually there to witness it. So, you know, I have twin boys. They're 17 now. Pretty much, they would ask me like, "Mommy, like, what happened to your eye? Like, did he do that to you? Like, you know, like what's going on? Why you got a sling on your arm? Or why you always wearing makeup and you ain't used to wear makeup before?" Just like now, you know, I have permanent black eyes, so I always have to, you know, cover myself because it has not gone away. Like you can see, I had to get stitches here, the mark on my face, so, you know. And then my daughter, she was too young to really understand what was going on.
How old were the boys at that time?
So this was 5 years ago. They 17 now. So.
Oh, this was 5 years ago?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's still, you know.
Still fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did say 5 years ago next week, right?
Yeah, because it happened on Martin Luther King Day. So that's another, like, bittersweet day. You know how some people, you know, but for me, it's like a reminder.
What about his family? Did his family know what was going on?
So they knew. The mom, that's what they always say, you got to look at signs with things. His own mother didn't trust him. Like, he would go over there to visit her, and she's like, why you here? Like, I don't want you in my house. Or, you know, she could stay here, but you can't stay here. And then when she seen, like, the first time I had, like, a black eye, she was like, you know, why you with him? Like, you got to go. He's not good. If I'm telling you he's not good, you shouldn't be with him. But, of course, being young and, you know, so-called being in love, I never listened. His brother was aware of what was going on. They used to fight because if he seen me with, like, a mark or a bruise or something, his brother would defend me. But it was just, I was too deep in, and then every time I tried to leave, if I can't have you, nobody can. Oh, I know where your mother live. I'll go hurt your mom if I can't get with you. Or if I wouldn't answer my phone, he'll pop up at my mom's house. And I would have to come downstairs and eventually end up leaving with him because he will always threaten her. And that's my mom. Like, you know, I don't want nothing to happen to her.
Yeah. Because you never know what people are really capable of. Especially
someone that always carry a weapon and that's high and always drunk. So they don't have no conscience at that point.
What made you fall in love with him in the beginning anyway?
So in the beginning, how I met him, I had met him, of course, like passing by. I used to see him by my old job. And first I would ignore him, like, no, I'm good. But then one of my friends, they was like, no, he's actually nice. We went out a few times, conversed on the phone, and he was pretty nice in the beginning. And then at that time, being lonely. So,
Mm-hmm.
and what made me really fall in love with him, it was like in the beginning, he treated me nice. He would, do things for me that a guy's supposed to do. We would go out. We would spend time together. I knew his family. I really felt like that was something good.
Mm-hmm.
But once he lost that job, it changed.
So he probably like started taking the drugs and like all that other stuff.
Yeah.
When you were incarcerated for those 9.5 months, what was going through your head? Because you had to keep going back and forth to court, right?
Every month. So that's what made it worse. So the first week, because I was in Rosie's on Rikers Island,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, first it had to register because I don't have a record. I never even, as far as been to the precinct. So to go from a situation like that straight to jail, it had to register that I was there. So at first, it took me about 3 days to realize where I was. I wasn't eating or anything, so I had to go to mental health, like, of course,
Mm-hmm.
my first week. And they had to give me, like, medication to sleep and stuff because I was just sitting up. It wouldn't register. And then once I finally realized, okay, look, I'm here, I had to jail. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I had to start, reaching out to my family. I had to speak to the other girls to try to, figure out the commissary, the phone. It was just very traumatic for me.
Did you have a good lawyer or did you have like a legal aid?
So at first we had a legal aid due to the fact we didn't, like I said, none of my family members, we really don't do jail or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. So we didn't know what to do. So then my uncle, he helped with my mom and my dad. They got the money up and I got a good lawyer. So with the good lawyer, being that like I never signed anything, like waived my rights or anything, pretty much he told me that he could try to help get me out. He just got to get all like the police reports and everything like that. And once he did that, I was out in 9 months.
And when you came out, how did you feel?
So at first, I just wanted to be around my children. Like, I didn't want to do anything. Like, the first night, like, my mom could take, I just sat in the window because I just wanted that fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the kids came home, I kept holding them and kissing them because I was away from them for 9 months. And the reason why I heard it more, the first few months, I wouldn't let them come see me because I didn't want to tell them where I was. I told them that, mommy's away for a while. I'm not going to lie, I lied to them about a few things because I didn't want them to see my face. Because when they had arrested me, I guess from like fighting with the knife and stuff, my hands was all cut up.
Mm-hmm.
My face was huge to where like I couldn't even sleep. Both my eyes was closed. So I did not want them to see me like that. It took me about 4 or 5 months for my face to actually go down a while.
Wow.
And then once it went down, then, I felt I needed to see my kids. So my mom brought my kids to see me. And then from there, it made me feel a little better. And then coming home, again, I just wanted to be around them. And that kind of put me at ease. And then I had to learn how to be in society all over again.
Yeah, that's a difficult transition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never been locked up, but I don't even think mentally I could do that.
Because it's traumatic. So, just telling you like a little experience from there. Excuse me. So coming in, you have to be like in a cell. Then they take you to the dorms. So it's 50 women in like one room. So from somebody coming from the outside world, working, having your own place, even though I was being abused, but I didn't have to deal with, somebody got to tell me when to shower, or I got to shower with 10 other women. And, just the things that women go through,
Mm-hmm.
just seeing that. And then, you just can't walk and come and go as you want to. A CO have to tell you stuff. Or if I need to go shop and get some food from commissary, I have to be escorted. It was a lot.
And what was one of the first things that you did to start getting back on track when you got out?
So what I did, I requested. It's called the Steps program.
Mm-hmm.
I had reached out to them. Actually, I was speaking to them while I was in jail. And I reached out to them when I got home because I told them, like, I felt I needed counseling because I had to pretty much grasp what was happening and then, again, get back into living in society. So once I went to the Steps program, I started seeking counseling there. I did counseling for maybe about 6 months. And then from there, I started taking, like, little training programs just to, get back in my groove. And then after that, I got back in the medical field about 2 years ago.
That's good. And you're a nurse now?
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Shit is not easy.
No.
What advice would you give women that are either in your situation or similar to your situation?
So I would give women, men, anyone that's going through this situation, please, soon as you see the red flags, like, if you feel the person is yelling too much, if you feel that, you're scared of them, they hit you, you have to reach out to someone, let someone know what's going on, and you have to get out that situation. I can lead by example, and I can be a person that could let everyone know, like, look at me, for example. I stayed there off the strength of love, and look what happened. Someone had to lose their life. I'm physically here, but mentally I'm still
dealing with it.
Yeah, it's something that you would never get over because it was a bittersweet situation. Of course, I hated what he did to me, but I would not want him dead. So,
yeah.
So,
Ala, thank you for sharing that story. So what do you have going on right now that you're a nurse?
mm-hmm.
Like, what's, how's your love life and all that stuff? Like, the kids, everything.
So the kids, they're doing fine. Like I said, I have twin boys. They're 17, Jeremiah and Jermaine. I also have my daughter. She's 12, Janaya, and I have a 3-year-old, Jair.
I like the J's, by the way.
Yes, I made all them J's. And I'm currently engaged. My husband's over here, who's pretty shot. That's Sar. And right now, I'm a nurse. We actually have a podcast that we're trying to start.
Mm-hmm.
It's on YouTube.
What's the channel?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm sorry, we just started.
Yeah, I might as well follow.
All right. So our YouTube channel is Star to Star and Unique's Entertainment Show.
Star to Star?
It's SAR.
Oh, Star.
The THESTAR and Unique Entertainment Show. My IG is unique underscore Quana Q. And then our IG for the show is Star to Star and Unique Entertainment, at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to find it. Oh, I got it.
Yeah,
right
there
here,
we
right?
go. Mm-hmm. So we're just starting out, but pretty much it's like I said, like he gives his man's opinion, I give a woman's opinion, and lots of laughs and
so
love.
The content is more like man versus woman,
something like that.
What kind of topics y'all touch?
So we touched polygamy before, and that's a big thing.
That's very big. I used to want to have a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and I thought I could really do it. But I want to do it on my terms. Like that's really what I wanted.
Okay.
But I don't know if I could like live like that, like in one house. I don't know. But I really did want to try that.
Well, I know some people that actually did it, but they're in separate households.
Yeah, because that would be hard.
And it worked out, but I don't agree with it.
Because I could be territorial. That's like a thing.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm a fire sign. I don't really play that stuff. Like,
and I feel like I can't share anything. Like,
when's your birthday?
June 30th.
Oh, you have a Cancer.
So,
I had a girlfriend that was a Cancer.
Yeah.
She was very everywhere.
Meaning what?
She was just everywhere. The bitch was just everywhere. I was with her for 2.5 years. And that was like the first girl I ever, cause I'm bisexual.
Okay.
Like I'm not gay, but I'm bisexual because I like sex.
Okay.
She was the first girl that I actually gravitated to because I left a 5-year relationship with this guy who would not leave me alone for shit. I had to move to Harlem.
Wow.
He still found me there. And I was just like,
what
oh.
is it with these guys just finding you?
I don't know. But he did not want to leave me alone. But he treated me like everything. And I know he loved me. He was just not right. He did drugs. And, you know, he was a ladies' man.
Wow.
So, but he taught me a lot. I was with him when I was young. And he taught me how to hustle. He taught me a lot. But he just, he couldn't give me what I wanted. And I was tired of just being pushed to the side. So I moved. And then I met, you know, this girl and whatever. And then when I finally started liking, you know, being attracted to this guy from Brooklyn, I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. And she got mad because I moved back to Queens and she wanted to move with me, and I just was not, it was just not that. But she was very, and I love you still. You're still my friend. She, you know, girls love her. Like, she looked like Alicia Keys.
Okay.
And she would just be fucking around different girls and stuff. And, you know, she had me in a situation where there was like 5 girls and stuff. And I thought maybe then that was something but it's just not for me. Yeah. But you're still my friend and I still love you. And that's it. But yeah, that's like the most that I would do. And then, you know, I went through an 18-year situation with my son's father. And I always felt like I didn't care who he was with. I still would be with him and then be with a, you know, who, like, I don't know. In my mind, my sick mind, that's what I thought I could kind of do. And no, can't do it.
And same here, like.
Can't do it.
Especially going through what I went through. And now, like, I'm going to pick him up. The person that I'm with now, like, he's everything that I wanted. As far as, like, he treats me good. He's there for me when I need him. You know, mentally, emotionally, physically, and then I just feel good. So as far as like with the polygamous thing, like I couldn't do it.
No, could he do it?
Could you do it? He won't answer that.
He said he pleaded
because he know he can't.
He said,
it's me, baby. I'll switch my wig if you want another girl. But no, it's me only.
I hear that. But you do get to a point in life where you really do want to build with just like one person and really like take off. Oh,
and actually we're getting married June 25th.
Oh shit!
With this?
Yes, you invited me. I'm getting invited on air. Yes, now I'm coming. June 25th.
June 25th.
Let me put that shit in my calendar. Yes, no, I'm there. Okay. What color?
What the girls are gonna wear? So
well, like what color theme is the wedding?
It's gonna be purple.
Okay, I like red. But I wear I will, you know.
Well,
I wear black.
He chose purple because it's signs of royalty.
It is.
I'm his queen. So.
It is. It's a very powerful color.
Yes.
Yeah. It is.
So yes, I would like you to come.
I'm coming.
Okay.
I wear all black, and I'll bring a purple envelope with the money in the inside.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to a wedding on June 25th.
You could come too.
She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The camera woman. I do really want to thank you for sharing this story.
Thank you.
She made me want to cry.
And thank you for sharing. You didn't have to share yours with me, but I appreciate that.
It's okay. It's you know, I think it's important for people to know because you know, even though you didn't grow up in a household like that, I did. You went through that experience. I didn't. You know, so it's like role plays and
we went through it in our own ways.
Right. And it's just different, but everything is still traumatic. And you know, it makes us who we are today as women, as people.
Stronger.
How we treat our children, how we want our relationships to be in the future, and things like that. So, yeah, I'm proud of you.
All right, thank you. And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. Yeah. So I do have some shout outs really quick.
Go ahead, shout out whoever out.
Before I step out. All right. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be here because I just really feel like you gave me the opportunity to share my story. And me talking about it, you know, for my mental health, it helps me. And then I also want to help other women or men, you know, anyone that's going through this. So I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Also, I want to shout out Queen. She has a podcast, From the Heart of a Poet. She was the first one that allowed me to, share my story as well. Also, I want to shout out my mom because that's my queen in my life. I want to shout out my husband, my children, and also just my temple DCB. So I want to thank you again.
You're welcome. Right. And don't forget to subscribe to her YouTube channel. Okay.
Yes.
Star
to Star and Unique's Entertainment Show.
Unique's Entertainment Show.
Yes.
All right. Real World Radio Podcast. Stay tuned for actually no, not stay tuned. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel on Spotify, Anchor, and tune into Desert Storm Radio every Thursday, 8 p.m. DesertStormRadio.com, sorry.